History of Money Video Series, Episode 1. Why did humans invent money? Introduction. Just think about it. Right now, you can buy food with a tiny piece of paper in your pocket. Sometimes there isn't even physical money anymore. You tap your phone a couple of times, and the payment is done. But thousands of years ago, people couldn't even imagine something like this. There were no banks, no credit cards, no internet, and no digital payments. People seriously struggled when trying to trade with each other. So who came up with money? Why did humans even need something like it? In this video, we're going to talk about how money was born, how early humans traded with each other, and how money slowly started changing the world. So, let's begin. Number 1. The barter era, the world before money. For most of human history, money didn't exist. People got what they needed through barter. Basically, you give something you have, and in return, you get something you need. For example, imagine this. You're a farmer. You have tons of wheat. But you want meat. So you go talk to a hunter. You say, "I'll give you wheat, and you give me meat." If the hunter also wants wheat, great, deal done. But here's where the problem starts. What if he doesn't want wheat? Maybe he wants shoes. Maybe he wants fish. Maybe he doesn't want anything at all. And that's when trade completely stops. At first, this system seemed reasonable, but over time it became really difficult for people. Because both sides had to want exactly what the other person had at the same moment. And there were other problems too. Some goods spoiled very quickly. You can't store meat forever. Milk goes bad almost immediately. Some things were also difficult to carry around. Imagine someone saying, "I'll give you 40 goats for this house." What are you going to do with 40 goats? Where are you even going to keep them? There was also the problem of value. For example, how many loaves of bread is one goat worth? Who decides that? People realized this system could never work forever. So slowly, humans started looking for one common thing that everyone would consider valuable. And that's exactly where the idea of money was born. Number 2. The first things used like money. At first, people began using objects that everyone agreed were valuable. These weren't real money yet. But they worked like money. Different societies around the world valued different things. For example, in some parts of Africa, salt was extremely valuable. Because salt both preserved food and was necessary for survival. In fact, some soldiers were even paid with salt. It's said that the word salary may actually come from this connection to salt. Some societies used seashells. Others used giant stones. And some used animals. In ancient societies, wealth was sometimes measured by the number of cattle a person owned. But these systems also had problems. Stones were hard to carry. Animals could get sick. And shells didn't have the same value everywhere. Humanity needed a more practical solution. And eventually, metals became the answer. Number 3. The rise of metals. Gold. Silver. Bronze. People loved these metals. Because they didn't spoil easily. They could be divided into smaller pieces. They were portable. And since they were rare, they were valuable. Gold became especially important because gold didn't rust. Even after thousands of years underground, it could still keep its shine. Over time, people started trading metals based on weight. But there was still a problem. Every time people traded, they had to check whether the metal was real. They had to weigh it. They had to test its purity. And this slowed trade down. That's why one of the most important inventions in history appeared. Coins. Dash dash dash. Number 4. The first coins. The first official coins in history are believed to have been produced by the Lydians about 2,600 years ago. The Kingdom of Lydia was located in what is now western Turkey. The Lydians made coins from a mixture of gold and silver. These coins carried the seal of the state. And that seal was incredibly important. Because now people no longer had to constantly ask, is this metal real? Is this the correct weight? The government guaranteed it. This changed trade forever. Buying and selling became much faster. Cities grew. Trade routes expanded. And money slowly became the center of human life. The foundations of today's modern economy were built right here. Dash dash dash. Hash conclusion. So the original purpose of money was actually very simple. To make trade easier for people. To solve the problems of the barter system. And to speed up commerce. But what started as a small solution eventually became one of the most powerful forces in the world. Today, countries can go to war. Companies can grow into giants. People can become rich or poor. And at the center of all of it, there is still money. In the next episode, we'll talk about this. How was paper money invented? Why did people begin trusting paper instead of gold? And how were banks born? If you want the rest of the story, don't miss the next episodes in the series.